All right, thanks, Matthew. Okay, everybody. Brian has put our slide deck into the chat. If you'd like to click on that, if you don't have it quite yet. Otherwise, we are so excited that you're here. We are here to chat about, this is our sixth session, talking all about self. So to start us off, we would like to have you guys fill out just a little bit of a warm welcome. The question asks, how did you authentically incorporate strategies from Module 5, High Expectations? And of course, for those that did not do Module 5 with us, we also have a different question down below. It asks you to think about, in what ways have you intentionally supported students in switching from being dependent learners to independent learners? So feel free, of course, you're always welcome to unmute and talk to us, or please put that in the chat, just getting us thinking about our students and about their independence versus dependence inside the classroom. We'll give you just a moment. All right, for those of you that are just joining us, just again, we're trying to think about what are some ways that you have authentically incorporated some of the strategies from our last session, or if you weren't with us for our last session, in what ways have you intentionally supported students in switching from being dependent learners to independent learners? I can tell you from our last session, we heard from some teachers talking about how students were working more intentionally on supporting students by being teachers themselves, which was actually one of the ones that I directed or led, and talking a little bit more about students being able to share their learning with each other in an authentic way using some sort of tech tool. So that was really cool to hear how they've incorporated that in the classroom. If you think of something as we go through, feel free to pop it in the chat and I'll read it aloud. But if you'd like to continue, Matthew, go for it. Just as a reminder, we are here to talk about reimagining classrooms by integrating technology in a culturally responsive way. And we will be talking about the CRE mindset of self today.
Hello, everyone. I am Zuri Hunter. I am the Near Northeast Regional Digital Coach for K through 5 schools.
I'm Shayla Williams, the Far Northeast Elementary Coach for K-5.
And I am Caitlin Bott, the Southwest Elementary Coach. Brittany Horton is not here today, but she is the Southeast Elementary Coach.
And hi, I'm Matthew Willems. I'm the Central Region Elementary Coach.
And hi, I'm Brian Dino. I'm the Northwest K through 8 Elementary Coach.
Hi everybody, my name is Amy and I am a secondary coach and I am helping out with today's PX.
All right, we'd like to continue with our land acknowledgement. Recognizing DPS commits to no justice, no peace, we, the DPS educational community, place our minds and bodies in this space while acknowledging Indigenous relatives who have lived in and cared for this ancient land from time immemorial. We acknowledge the close relationship that Arapaho, Cheyenne, Southern Ute, and Ute Mountain Ute, and natives of other tribal nations continue to have with the waters, plants, and all moving things that call this land home. We pledge our respect for those enduring Indigenous connections to this place we now call Colorado. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and respects Indigenous peoples' relationships with their traditional territories. Dr. Tink Tinker, a longtime member of the Denver Metro Native American community, collaborated with the DPS Native American Culture and Education and academics teams to write this land acknowledgement for DPS. Indigenous peoples are the first Americans of this country. In Colorado, we occupy the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations. DPS is committed to recognizing, honoring, and celebrating the diverse traditions, cultures, and languages of the first Americans. We also strive for individuals to learn and acknowledge the significant sacrifices and contributions Native Americans faced and overcame, both historically and presently. Today, there are over 574 Native American sovereign tribal nations here in the United States, each with many enrolled citizens.
These are our transition priorities for 2021, 2022. We are focusing on our language learners, students with disabilities, students experiencing poverty, and students of color, and these 3 areas of priorities. So we have our priority of equity, accelerated learning, and social, emotional, and mental health.
And a reminder about the DPS Instructional Excellence Theory of Action, which states that if we commit to providing rigorous, culturally and linguistically responsive instruction, then each student will become independent learners who are on track to demonstrate competency for the graduation requirements, and that every DPS student has their academic, social, and emotional needs met. Do that by the 5 mindsets listed below. And although we're now into April, just a reminder of the approach that all the schools universally implemented at the start of the year. Again, those are equity, accelerated learning by re-envisioning education, and social, emotional, mental health. And then the local choices that were implemented school by school are listed below. But what DPS is working towards hasn't shifted, and that's on track to graduate, mathematics, early literacy, and student well-being.
Also, just a reminder that you should be reporting all of your online tools on the academic technology menu. If you have any issues or questions with the academic technology menu and placing new tools there, please reach out to your digital coach for assistance. You can find the ATM at atm.dpsk12.org.
Okay, so today for the educator mindset, we are focusing on self. I continuously reflect on my cultural lens, beliefs, and biases that adapt my practice accordingly.
Yes, as Amy just said, our cultural responsive mindset we're focused on is self, and the DPS practices is examining and actively deconstructing how our biases exist in our practices, and then also adapting the role in the classroom that we take on as teachers and how we need to switch from being more of like teacher role to facilitating the learning so that students are doing more of the self-reflective work.
Okay, so we will be in 3 strategy groups today. The first strategy group will be exploring self through inquiry-based learning. In this group, we will be providing a space to challenge and dive into our own mindsets around cultural assumptions and biases. We will push our own thinking to understand how our biases affect and impact the students that we teach. In strategy 2, we will be talking about using video for reflection. So for self-reflection, considerations for reflection with video, using Swivel to record and reflect, using teacher devices, Chromebooks to record and reflect, using Video Ant to facilitate group reflection and feedback, and student-created videos. And in strategy 3, we will be talking about managing and facilitating group work and discussions. We will be going into the 2 whys of group work and then diving into 3 strategies on how to group in a classroom with these mindsets in mind. So right now, think about which strategy is calling to you, which one you think that you want to join today. And then you can see that we have all of the breakout rooms linked here